indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. North St. Paul sign looks awesome.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, somebody will get to sit by it.
There you go. All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Cole?
Here.
Councilmember Schwer? Here. Councilmember Wong? Here. Councilmember Norby?
Here.
Mayor Monge?
Here. Get a motion, adopt the agenda, please.
So moved.
So move, Councilmember Schwer.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Cole. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right, consent agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. Consent agenda, item A, September 19th, 2023 workshop minutes. Item B, September 19th, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Item C, general claims of $679,528.20. Item D, HRA claims of $52,070.09. Item E, EDA claims of $136. Item F, application for a charitable gambling permit to conduct excluded bingo by the Knights of Columbus Council, 4967, November 18th, 2023. Item G, application for temporary on-sale liquor license and charitable gambling for exempt permit for the North Star Museum and Scouting Memorabilia and Company. Item H, ordinance amending the 2023 municipal fee schedule. Item I, application to Met Council to additional TVRA grant funding. Item J, proposed franchise ordinance for North St. Paul. Item K, special event permit, hang time board shop. Item L, 7th Avenue, Margaret Street Downtown Improvement Project for North Inc. Approve pay voucher number 5. Item M, 7th Avenue, Margaret Street Downtown Improvement Project for Nova Frost Inc. Approve pay voucher number 6, which is final. Item N, 7th Avenue and Margaret Street Downtown Improvement Project for Mid-State Excavating and Landscaping. Approve pay voucher number 11, which would be the final. Item O, Southwood Nature Preserve Statement of Policy.
Thank you. Anybody like to pull anything? Brian? Great. Motion,
Moved.
so move, Councilmember Schwer.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Norby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, now we go into public. Open to the public. John Schmal. Where do you want him to go?
There you go.
Close up.
Hi. You asked how the audio was going through the magic of being able to text someone, because I couldn't hear a thing from everybody facing this way, but the audio was reported as being fine.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Anyway, a couple of things, one of them being that the answering system, or however you're indicated as on your caller ID, is coming in from the city. Someone leaves a message, and so you take your caller ID and hit call, because there's the number. Well, for Carrie, the caller ID is Jeannie. It should have been.
I agree.
Okay. So you don't even have the power to change it to do this. Strangest thing I've ever run into. And I got the voicemail for Jenny when I called Carrie. So I was trying to be quick by just saying call from whatever the caller ID said. So it's always a problem, always a problem. And then last meeting, I couldn't get the agenda items up just so I could follow on my tablet rather than trying to see what was up here. It didn't work, and talking to Carrie the next day, she said, yeah, I was having problems too. So there is a situation where we never know what we're going to get when we sit down and try to follow the meeting. It's always a crapshoot. So, and then the last item, I got a call from someone that asked for the problem with the resolution I brought up at the last meeting, wherein you changed the resolution that was revoked. And you would think that maybe you would want to correct that, to make it correct and, have that resolution brought up again correctly. But I guess with a extraordinary city, you really don't need to do that.
Thank you. Dave?
The handout that you see, the first page, the very bottom, that was taken from the, astronauts from the space station, so you can see the light pollution. And on page 2, the light pollution plays a big part of our health. As you can see, I forget what that is, the rhythm, but breast cancer, prostate cancer, all these different cancers, lung cancer, obesity, diabetes, and that. And to the right is the blue light that's affecting us. My wife and I, we were at a seminar on this. It was about a 2-hour, 3-hour seminar. And the blue light, white light, there's 5 different spectrums. The 3 spectrums are the ones that are cancer causing. If you go with the yellow or the orange light in your bulbs and that, which is safer for the kids, that, you know, the kids are coming up, it's better that way, less health problems. On page 3, on light pollution, I was wondering if there's something that can be done with our street lights, like a shade put, so it's mainly down, it doesn't go up, because it affects the insects and like our bats, when the light goes up, there is no bats. Bats are pollinators, besides the insects. And the insects get around that light and they keep going around and around and they burn out their energy and they do not pollinate. And it plays a big factor on other animals like turtles. If there's a lot of lights in St. Paul, like where Mississippi River is, turtles will migrate towards the light. They think it's daylight. They don't migrate, they don't stay in the river. A lot of them that are on land, they migrate the opposite direction. And it's on page, let's see. Page 9, the role of the insects decline. There they have bats, there they have it about the turtles. Also affects the fish and that in the waters, especially where the cities are. The fish will congregate towards the shore where the light is more. They won't take and go in a resting period or go in other areas. And on 10, you can see the bugs that fly around the light so bad, they just burn out their energy and they fall. And these are part of our pollinators. They're also food for our pollinators too. On page 11, birds at night, especially in St. Paul. We have a person that walks the streets in St. Paul, and she picks anywhere from 7 to 11 dead birds in a week, because they're flying into the buildings where the lights are and they are getting killed. And I think that's it.
Well, thank
But
you.
as far as the,
We'll read through it. It's good information.
yeah,
Thank you.
especially go with the yellow lights. It's for everybody's health, especially for the young kids that are coming up. Now, light pollution, we still have light pollution with the upper deck on the apartment building on that side. I asked if, they did put lights along the door that lights up, but when, this last Saturday, the lights were on after 11, because I called the neighbor lady, that's perimeter lights, take those out, put spotlights that show on the deck, don't light up, because there's 9 homes that are being affected by those lights. You know, it changes our night rhythm and everything that, you know, when we sleep and that. So it's not only us, it's everybody.
Okay.
But
I'll go with that.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
And I hope, you know, spread the word about the health for the young kids coming up, because, you know, we need to cut down on cancers and all the different stuff, diabetes and everything.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. All right, thank you. Good, and you?
Yep. So what we have for city business action items and recommendations is the Anchor Block Commons final BMPs, city project 23-05, change order number 2. We got Ridali, our city engineer, here to discuss.
Thank you, Brian. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this next item before you is a contract change for the Anchor Block Commons Final BMPs project, which is city project number 2205, change order number 2. Essentially put in place here in front of the council for consideration to rectify quantities to ensure that when the contract is finalized out, which we anticipate potentially at the next meeting or a little bit later this fall, that the contract amount does not exceed the value completed of to date. There's 2 parts to this change order, which in totality is $13,205.04. And I should back up, really there's 2 parts to this project. So originally the intent of this project was to finalize, to be able to meet the watershed district's rules and permitting requirements for the 3 different ponds around the Anchor Drive development with Quick Trip and the apartments and the self-storage. There were several ponds that needed to be constructed to meet water requirements. And so those were done with the mass grading, and as the development improved there over time, starting in 2019, 2020. So to be able to meet the final conditions, some additional filtration equipment, things that needed to be in the bottom of the ponds needed to be installed after the fact, knowing that if they had been done at the first part of the project, it would have gotten all clogged. That's kind of typical standard practice, is to wait till everything is fully developed around in the areas around there. So with that portion of the project, that's essentially completed. The watershed district, with their final inspections and verifications of the volumes, they did have some additional requirements, some expanded volume in the corner of one of the basins, and that required some grading, adding some additional seed and blanket to actually kind of once they were completed. So those things, in addition to the landscape rock in the bottom, is the first part of this change order. And the second part was related to a change order number 1, which was approved by council back in October of 22, which was some add-on work that was identified by Public Works, essentially drainage or storm sewer maintenance work in the north parking lot for Casey Lake Park. There was an area of that parking lot which did not have a catch basin or any sort of storm sewer infrastructure there, that over time the water just spilled down a spillway through some rock. Basically, over time that created an erosion issue, and we were seeing a lot of flooding of the playground equipment just to the west of the parking lot, which would wash out all of the mulch, and it was creating a bit of a maintenance headache for works. So they had asked if it was possible to see some minor storm sewer improvements in that corner, which actually were always eventually planned for with the Phase 1 Casey Lake Neighborhood Improvement Project, which is scheduled currently within the CIP for 2025. So completing some of this work early will just mean that that's less work for that future cost or for that future project when it comes time to deliver that project. And within change order number 1, which was again specific to Casey Lake, over the winter we did have some failed curb and gutter. We had to do a little bit of removal and replacement of curb in and around that area, and some additional erosion control blanket to get the grass growing there. So that's the second component. So with that, I'll stand for any questions the council may have. The contractor has approved and signed the change order, so they're in agreement with everything. And everything's been run by, Director of Public Works, Ron Ritchie, as well, too. So with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Questions, anybody?
The recommended action is to approve change order
Yep.
number 2.
Okay. So move, Councilmember Cole.
Second?
Second, Councilmember Norby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. Report, city manager and department, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Jenny and Dan and I will be getting together to talk for insurance for, next year, so we'll be looking at, see what is of that.
Okay.
Have, like, the pre-sale has closed for the Booyah, we're still good though.
I'll share with you.
Yeah. So Public Works has started the street sweeping. It takes about 2.5 months through the whole city. Here, pick up all the leaves. Doing their 5-year maintenance on the substation. Looks good. We're about a leak that it had, that it might be very expensive to fix. It wasn't as serious as we thought it was. Everything went well with that. And we're feeding off our, during that time, everything went well. We're having a give back event at Max Diner on Monday, October 23rd, for 9, and that is money for the St. Paul Fire Relief Association.
Good. Good food.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, reports, council, commissions, and committees. Councilmember Norby.
Due to staff development, there is no planning commission meeting on the 5th of October. The next planning commission meeting will be on November 2nd.
Thank you. Councilmember Cole.
Next council meeting, or excuse me, next, what do we say, EDA?
EDA? EDA, yep.
Next EDA meeting is here next Tuesday in council, in chambers at 3 o'clock.
Thank
That would be the 10th.
Arts and Culture Commission, has a meeting tomorrow, in which they'll review, and discuss, the arts, events that happen, at Casey Lake. I also received a message today that we will have, a vacancy, resignation, just really busy people. But still, I think they're moving along, and we will see new utility box wrap so, for the end of the year.
Very much.
I was not in attendance at the last meeting, however, I did view it. They recapped the event at Lake, the Arts Festival. We also have a vacant position that is now posted for commission, so be happy to send some applications our way. Next meeting is October 25th at 6:30 in council chambers.
Very much.
Mm-hmm.
General business. Councilmember Norby.
Just want to remind everyone that at 1:20 tomorrow, FEMA will be doing some testing, so there are going to be a lot of alarms, a lot of sirens, and some phones, just to make sure everyone is safe and can get the news that they need to.
I believe that's at 2:30.
I was told 1:20 Central?
I could totally be wrong.
Sometime tomorrow.
Anytime.
Your phone's going to go off.
After 1 o'clock, pay attention.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Sometime after our noon whistle.
That's right.
Yeah, it goes off my
Councilmember
time.
Cole.
Not really a whole lot to report. Did have the opportunity to attend the History Museum last week, and had a very lovely, presentation about the Reef House and the, 2 sisters that adopted 9 children, and a lot of the history that went into that. And their grandchildren, I believe 5 of their grandchildren were present. It's just, the History Museum is just such a cool thing.
Mhm.
It really truly is. Makes you proud of your community, makes you proud of who we are. And on that note, I'm gonna plug next month. Norma Worm is going to present, the toy shelf and the 18-year history that it's been around. So, I encourage any and all to attend.
Thank you. Good. Wilmer, Minnesota, I really sad missing that.
Hotbed.
Juan?
I'm really excited for this Hang Time Board Shop skate.
Cool.
So, I'll hope to see you there on your skate.
Got enough favorites.
You have my
I got enough
word.
screws.
I'll try it.
Yeah, here you go.
I
I got an
skateboarded.
extra board.
There you go.
I'll try it. Maybe back in the cast, but I'll try it.
Good for you.
I have a few things. So I attended briefly tell me if I'm off on this, the POWMIA event.
Oh,
Very briefly, I had to pop in, pop out. Harper had a volleyball game, but super cool, very nice. Obviously, another presentation again. We had 145 new bricks, and I can't quote the price or the number total. I know it's over 1,300 that is on display at Veterans Park, so it's neat. I also had the pleasure of attending the Fall Festival that St. Pete's put on. That was incredible, first time ever going to that event. Very overwhelming because there's so much and it's really cool. So I would recommend attending it in a 2-day period. I just attended it, so it's a great thing in the city to have. I also attended the History Museum Octagon House presentation, one of my favorite homes in North St. Paul. So I always said that I wanted to purchase that one when it came up for sale. Not going to happen, I don't think. Another really cool thing and what we should be proud of is our high school football team was on Sports Illustrated Fan Nation for last week's game. Quoted in there, it was an insane comeback fall short for Minnesota high school team. At halftime, Hill Murray was up at 56 points. North St. Paul was down at 6 points. At 2 minutes left in the game, 63-48, and then the final score was 63 Hill Murray, 54 North St. Paul. So insane roller coaster of game of events. It's super cool. They have a home game this upcoming Friday at 6 p.m. playing Simley, and I have a couple nephews that are playing in that, and they were state champions last year. So I look forward to seeing what that score is going to be.
no kidding. What a great comeback. Keep going.
So I was really very excited to see that Sports Illustrated had it covered. So nice job, Pullers.
Yes. Good.
I'm done.
All right, thank you.
Tim has something.
Can I just jump in once? I'd want to make sure positive accolades get given, to the right people. So I did attend the POWMIA thing as well. Towards the end, Public Works and Randy were called out for how well they've been working with the whole area and their great appreciation to everything that goes on. So I just wanted to make sure that you heard that. So thank you, Mayor, for
Good,
letting me
thank
know.
you. Appreciate it. I'd like to thank you for attending. I was out of town for both of those events, the history one and Mayor Furlong was able to do the proclamation for me. So I appreciate everybody being able to help out because sometimes we just can't quite make it to everything, but thank you so much for everybody attending everything. Appreciate it. On my side too, just wanted to give an update. We have 3 properties that we're looking at getting ready for market. So we're getting appraisals for the one across the street here on Margaret, the one over on 7th, and then 17th in Delaware. Just there's been some interest and we just don't have numbers yet. So we're trying to get some processes to understand the value and where we're at with it before we get into what we're going to be using things for, just to see what kind of interest. So we're going to get the appraisals on everything so we understand where we're at. So price-wise, we're good to go and understand where the community needs are for that. Anything else, second?
And plating it as well.
Plating, this one over here across the street is Margaret, that has 4 lots. So we're trying to get everything under one PUD, so it's ready to go. So that's going to be the new process, is make sure we have an appraisal, get ready to go, and understand what we have for our assets, that we're making sure we manage them correctly. All right. Okay, if nothing else, we're going to work our way into closed session. Want me to read it, or you want to read it, Larry?
Mr. Mayor, maybe I can touch on it a little bit before we go into closed session. It is somewhat unique. You do have two closed sessions, scheduled, and they will be separate sessions.
Okay.
The first one is being closed as permitted, pursuant to the attorney-client privilege. The second one will be a performance review of the city manager. So in a minute, I would ask that you read each of these and that we actually then have a motion and a vote to go into closed session. Procedurally, what we will do is we will do the attorney-client first, close it, open it back up, and then reclose it separately, when we're in the other room. We will not take those votes in closed session, but I do think it's going to be important to mark these as separate sessions for the record. One, the attorney-client will not be tape recorded. The performance review of the manager will be. And then I think it's just always important to alert the public to, after we go into closed session, that we will immediately go to adjournment, that there will be no further business done at that time.
Sure.
That there's nothing going on after that.
Okay.
So if you're prepared, what I would ask is that you read the content of A and B, and that there then be a motion to go into closed session.
Okay. The meeting will be closed as permitted by Minnesota Statute 13D.05 sub 3B for a confidential client, attorney-client privilege settlement discussion related to litigation, thank you, in the matter of amendments to the various water appropriations permits of the administrative hearings filed number 8-2002-37733. And B, the second one, is the meeting will be closed pursuant of the Minnesota Statute 13D.05 sub 3A to conduct a performance review of the city manager.
There's a motion to go into closed section that would be appropriate at this point.
I'll move.
So moved, Councilmember Swear.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Coe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
I would